Welcome back everyone, I'm Danny the Dinosaur Drawer, and today I'm going to be showing you all how to draw Marvel's Venom. So we're only going to be drawing the head today. This has been a highly requested tutorial. I've got an eraser, a Graph Gear 500 mechanical pencil, but any pencil will work fine. Got some paper, obviously, and we'll begin with the outline. So our Venom head is going to be facing to the left, I guess, which means it'll be easier for those of us who are right-handed. But we're going to start off with an outline. So you want to make sure your drawing will fit on your page. So right now I'm drawing a light circle. Venom has a very round head. And we're going to put a line right about here to show the top of the head and the bottom of the head, it's got a huge bottom jaw, so it's going to take up a lot of room. But the eye is going to be right about here. We're just going to slowly flesh everything out. I want to get the proportions down first before we draw anything too like dark. The teeth are going to be right about there. So the outline is a stage that's really important. You want to make sure everything looks perfect in the outline before you move on. The proportions. So Venom is famous for having this really scary looking tongue that's quite long and powerful. So we gotta put that in. It's gonna be curled like a tail there. Looks like a dinosaur tail, honestly. Yeah, the bottom jaw is gonna reach all the way down to here. It's got a very thin bottom jaw. Just imagine like a dinosaur bottom jaw on a human head, and then you have Venom. And it's almost got like a smile here. Venom is like a symbiote, so he sort of becomes similar to whatever he inhabits, like whatever creature he lives in. So if he was in a dinosaur, he'd look like a Venom dinosaur, you know? So this is what Venom looks like when he's inside a human. But if he lived inside any other creature, he'd sort of look similar to what they look like, if that makes sense. But here is our outline, and I'm very happy with how it looks. So I think we can move on to the next stage. So while you could do this whole drawing with just one pencil, I recommend you get out some shading pencils, because we'll be using that for some of the darker spots on our Venom. I've got a 2B pencil and a 3B pencil, which should work for this drawing. And we'll be using our regular pencil, of course, for most of it. So the eye of Venom's very large, and it's got like no pupil. It's just like a glazy, like white color, which makes it kind of scary. But yeah, this shape is pretty much how it looks. It's got sort of like a rough edge, or it like breaks open at certain spots. But I'm pretty happy with how the eye looks. We can add a little bit of shading. I'm going to do some hatches, some hatch strokes. A little bit of shading at the top there to show some of the roundness, because the eye does follow the roundness of the head here. Isn't it weird how like Venom suddenly looks so friendly after you see Carnage? It's like, oh wow, Venom looks like a good guy now. Okay, so Venom's lips will be peeled back. And this part is very important. This lip and teeth area is very complicated, so you gotta draw it slowly and meticulously. I'm gonna draw the edge of the lips here. So once you have that in, let me zoom in on our reference image so I can see the teeth a little better. So Venom's got many teeth. That's like an understatement. He's got a zillion teeth. They're all very large and kind of thin. So there's an example of what one of Venom's teeth would look like. And you could actually get your eraser out at this point and erase some of the outline, just because it might get in the way a little bit. So I'm going to do that real quick. Just make sure it's cleaned up. I think my channel has a reputation of, or my videos have a reputation for like being kind of sloppy at the start usually, which is true, but that's just my style of drawing. I usually start off really sloppy with big lines, and then I start putting in more detail as we move along. So we're going to have one more tooth up front here, and the rest of them will be working this way. And he does have like 2 layers of teeth, so we gotta keep that in mind. But we'll do 1 layer first. They almost, yeah. Let me just redo this tooth really quick. Got a little bit too thin. I was gonna say they almost look like bear claws. So we're doing the first row. And this will be our last tooth, right about there. Sorry if I bumped the camera there. We should add the gum line real quick, which will be a slightly darker color than the teeth. And it's also very red if you are doing this in color. We'll add in the gum. Right here, the part that opens and closes the jaw, it's going to be a little bit complicated, but we'll do that in a minute, so don't stress about that just yet. Got enough worries in front of us right now with all these teeth. So the second row is, the teeth are not really like smaller or bigger, they're just about the same in size. Just, they're kind of weirdly placed, you know what I mean? They're not like it's not like every other tooth has a second row, it's like they're just everywhere and like randomly placed. So some of them could be like really close together, like right here. Could be like a pack of like 2 teeth. So it gives it like a really scary, like unpredictable look, teeth. Which was the whole point, I think, of the concept artists wanted to show when they designed the jaws of Venom. We're also going to see some of the teeth from the other side. So it's just like a glorious teeth fest going on right here. I think that's enough teeth for now. I'll get out my shading pencil and do a little bit of shading on some of the teeth that are further back in the jaw to make it look a little bit less confusing. If you guys are doing this tutorial, I'm really proud of you because it's challenging, like not your normal dinosaur. And I've put this tutorial off for quite some time because you see the head of Venom, it's just so complicated. All these different layers of teeth, but this looks pretty good. So for some of the white teeth here, I'm just going to add a few lines to show the grain of the teeth, like so. But yeah, there you have it. We are done with all the teeth on the top jaw. So I think before we do like the bottom jaw and everything, I want to do the part of Venom, like the jaw that opens and closes, the muscle that opens and closes the jaw, which is right about here. It's going to have a bunch of this like stretchy, elastic, like strands, I guess is the word I'd use, that connects it. So there's the first one. And you can honestly do this without even looking at what I'm doing, you know, it's just like a bunch of strands. They're almost like webbing, you know? Just want to make it look organic. And we will leave the space behind these strands pretty light, because if we shade it in, then it'll be really hard to see the strands. Like, the contrast will be lost. I might do a little bit of shading back here, the very back, but I think that'll be it. So it doesn't look half bad. It looks pretty realistic, actually, so I'm very happy with how it looks. The tongue is going to be maybe a little bit lower than I originally put in the outline, so we'll move the top of the tongue right about here. And this is going to be a little bit tricky, erasing in between the teeth. Sometimes you just have to like redraw certain sections, but that's not too bad when it's just like tracing, because you can already sort of see the lines we had put down earlier. There we go. Plus, some of these teeth needed to be firmed up a little bit in their lines. I was going to draw this in pen, but I know a lot of you guys like the pencil only tutorials, so this is for you guys, those of you who love to draw with pencils. I mean, I don't mind pencils at all, but I think just it's sort of cool to do a pen stage sometimes. So let's do the tongue. Yeah, well, like I said, it's like a dinosaur tail. It's not going to be too difficult. It does have some texture, and I'm planning on using the shading pencils to put that in. So it's not too hard. It just starts off thick at the base and then gets thin at the tip. So I'm going to get out, I think, my 3B shading pencil and shade the bottom. The whole bottom third of the tongue can be shaded in pretty dark. Try and keep my hand out of the way so you guys can see what's going on. Looking pretty good. Over here, I'm just going to be adding some texture to the tongue. Like so. You don't want to overthink it, you know. Just add some texture here and there with your shading pencil. So now we have to draw the bottom teeth. We got to carefully draw them around the base of the tongue so we can finish the tongue. So the bottom teeth are a little bit different in that they are not as long, but they are a little bit wider. So I'll draw one here, the back. What is difficult is that they are still double rowed, so you have to draw 2 rows of teeth, which makes it double hard. It's got a bunch here at the tip of the jaw. Venom reminds me a little bit of the Scorpius Rex for some reason. I think it's the teeth. Maybe that they're both really ugly. right, looking good. I think I don't want to add too many more teeth because it'll become too complicated then. I'll just add like one more right about there. So that's a good amount of teeth. I'm going to take out my shading pencil again to draw the gum, the lip here. One important drawing tip is to make sure the contrast, like the dark points in your drawing, are evenly spaced. You don't want to have like one spot that is overpowering. It's like this tongue area might look overpowering right now, but it won't once we add some more darkness to different spots. So you want to make sure everything is balanced. Like balance is very important in art. So here we have that thin bottom jaw. So the bottom jaw is quite dark. You're going to see some like little light spots, and those are very important to keep because it shows the shininess of Venom's skin. Well, like Venom doesn't really have skin, you know what I mean? Like all of Venom is made of this material, whatever it is. Yeah, make sure you leave some white areas to show the shininess. Alright, that looks really good. Obviously the top of the head needs some work, but I think the next thing we gotta do is tackle the inside of the bottom jaw. This can be a little bit tricky since we have all these teeth. I'm gonna have to work around them, which is one of my least favorite things to do in drawing. It's like the inside of a jaw. It's so hard. So just be careful when you're shading in between the teeth. But yeah, this whole bottom jaw is quite dark, if I'm gonna be honest with you. You could just leave it like untouched. It'd still look okay, but I'm going for mastery here. So I'm gonna shade it all in. And guys, like a pack of shading pencils is not that expensive, so I'd highly recommend you invest in a pack. Because some of these like, softer, darker tones are really nice in like in the B range of pencils. I think the ones I use the most are like the 2B and 3B and 4B for dark shading. I'm pretty sure like your average school pencil is HB, so it's really neutral. But neutral is good, you know. You can press hard with a neutral pencil and get some dark tones. You can also draw very light, but I still recommend getting a pack of shading pencils. Alright, so this is coming along nicely. So it's going to lighten up back here. I want this area to be nice and light. We're going to see the edge of the other side of the bottom jaw. So I thought we were done with teeth, but we're going to add like one or two more back there. Showing the other side of the jaw. And up here it can also be shaded quite darkly. Let's see if I have a really dark tone. Get about a 5B pencil. That'll work nicely for up here. So this area is going to be really dark. There we go. So our dilemma right now is this, the elasticy muscle that opens and closes the jaw, because we want people to still be able to see it, you know? So that's why we want to leave some white there. But it is in fact quite dark in the reference image, but it is a red color, so that's why it shows. That's why you can see it. So I might just add a tiny bit of shading here to show that red color. But yeah, Venom is looking great. Very happy with how it's turning out. I might just add a little bit of shading to some of the teeth back here in the back row. Nice hatching strokes. You'd think teeth would be like the easiest thing to draw. They're just like triangles, but they're really tricky sometimes. Alright, so I can safely say Venom's bottom jaw is complete. Let me just check our reference image. See what we gotta do for the neck and the top of the head. The top of the head actually looks pretty cool if we just left it white like that, but we're not going to. We're going to add a little bit of shading. So this whole area above the eye is going to be dark. But again, Venom has like a shiny complexion, so we want to leave some white there. But yeah, the areas right outside the eye are going to be some of the darkest. And you can see, like with a shading pencil, you can tilt it on its side and get some nice dark tones and draw. You can cover a lot of paper really quick with this method. Like with my mechanical pencil, it'd take much longer. And you'd probably have to do like some hatch stroking and just other techniques. You might have to resharpen your pencil like a couple times because we're using up a lot of graphite here. But I know a lot of you guys are Venom fans, because I've gotten like requests for Venom for like probably like 3 years now, but I really haven't done any drawings until this Christmas when I did a drawing of Carnage, a speed drawing, and some people were asking for tutorials, so I'm like, I'll be happy to do it. I mean, wouldn't it be kind of cool to be Venom? You know what I mean? Like, I don't really like the idea of having a symbiote living inside me, but you could like suddenly turn into Venom whenever you want. That might be kind of cool. It could get you out of a ton of situations. Okay, that looks really good. I'm gonna darken this line a bit. Whoa, it's looking very realistic. I like it. So let's darken this whole back area. So yeah, just make sure your Venom skull, I guess, is very round. It's important to have it be very round and the right proportion. So right here we're going to see a little bit of Venom's shoulders. He's got massive shoulders, like pretty much every superhero. Okay, so Venom's neck is going to be very dark. And maybe I should make it a little bit thicker. But yeah, his neck is basically encased in all this muscle. So, yeah, again, a lot of black I'm going to be drawing. Might leave a light or a little thin white line there. But it's interesting how fast you can draw like huge areas. It's like coloring them in pretty much with these shading pencils. So Venom has like some stripes, like these white colored stripes that we can put in on his body. So just color in between those. You know what, I'm always afraid that some of my videos might get really popular and then I'll look back at the drawing and be like, no, that's such a bad drawing for the amount of views it has, you know? So I always try and like touch them up a little bit at the end. But guys, I think we are at the end of the tutorial. Very happy with how this has turned out. It looks very close to the reference image, which makes me very happy. And the last thing we have to do is sign our drawings, which I'll do with the good old mechanical pencil. I will sign it right about here. And then I'll just put in the year 2022. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a big thumbs up. Comment below what you think I should draw next, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.